Today, I want to share a story and a reminder with you. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Gwen, and on this show, I intend to bring you interviews, ideas, stories, and share what's working for me to build an awesome life to hopefully inspire you to get intentional about building your own. This past week, my son Liam met his great grandma Pat, his only living great grandma. His great grandma Margaret, Ethel, and Aileen are his guardian angels. So this was an absolutely beautiful union. What happened was we decided to surprise her. It was kind of an impromptu invitation, or I kind of invited myself. I heard that my mother-in-law was going to visit her the following day, and I just said, "Hey, can I come?" And she was like, "Of course, like that would be amazing." So we ended up going, but making it a surprise. And as you can imagine, when we drove to her house, she was sitting on her back patio when we arrived. And we're, hiding in the car. And actually, my sister-in-law, Emily, was also there. She was also a surprise. We're bringing the surprises. So I get out of the car, and she goes, "Is that Gwen?" Like, and then she's like, "Wait, did you bring the baby?" And then it was just like she was so excited that that we brought the baby as well. And it was so touching. It's like, oh wow, I'm so happy that this is all unfolding, because this is absolutely beautiful and there's truly joy rising right now. So we got out of the car, brought the baby out. She got to meet the baby, and just the love and admiration of just the baby looking at her and her looking at the baby. We knew we were in for a beautiful afternoon. So we ended up going to a restaurant, and it was really fun because she got to know him because he was sitting in his stroller, and she got to feed him the bottle, and he was being so good and just kind of attracting the love and attention from everybody. I got to tell you, having a little happy baby I very much appreciate it. We can take him places right now, and he just kind of hangs out, and sure, he cries when he needs to, but he can kind of get back to balance pretty good. So we're in the restaurant, and then we decided to go back to her place and ask if she wanted to hold him. And just a quick aside before I tell that story, we were going to go in the front door. And as we were going to go in the front door to her place, she lives in a retirement community, and there was a lot of different, mostly ladies and a few men sitting outside, kind of hanging out. And isn't it interesting when you bring a new baby to a retirement home? We started to walk through, and it was just like everyone was so excited to meet him. Who's this? And my sister-in-law, Emily, was pushing the stroller, so everyone thought it was her baby at first. It was hilarious, but it kind of just reminded me of so much of the importance of family. And some of the ladies were asking Julie if it was her grandchild, or if she was like the grandma. And it's funny because being a grandma felt like really young, because most of the ladies there were great grandmas. So the currency was really, how many great grandchildren do you have? So that was just a little reminder that what is important today is probably going to change when I'm in my 80s and 90s. Definitely going to change. But it was very interesting just to see that they don't care about Instagram followers. They don't care about being liked by strangers on the internet. They just want to see their great grandchildren and are so thrilled about it. So that was a bit of a wake up call for me. Just a really beautiful wake up call. And also just the love that they had for this cute little baby. It was very touching. So anyway, we ended up going back to great grandma Pat's house or home. And I asked her if she wanted to hold the baby. And she was a little bit nervous to hold him because she is in a wheelchair and not holding 16 pounds on the regular of a squiggly baby. And she wanted to hold him, but also just thought, can I hold it? Can I do this? So it was really touching because I got to help hold him. Like, no worries, we're here to support you. I'll help hold him up. So she went to go hold him the first time. And babies are so sensitive to energy. I feel like Liam kind of picked up the nervousness. And so he started to get nervous. So he started to cry a little bit. So I took him back for a minute, but I wasn't satisfied. I knew that we could do this again, and it could be a really touching, beautiful moment. So babies are very simple in many ways. And all we need to do is get a bottle and try again. And so she got to hold him again. She was willing to try again. And I was helping to hold him. And I'll actually share a picture. I'll put some pictures on social media as well. And it was just a beautiful moment, her looking into his eyes, him looking right back, being like, who are you? But so content just sitting there. A beautiful thing. Now, as I shared at the top of the show, a story and a reminder. The reminder really was after she held him and we're all just kind of hanging out, sitting around. You ever have those conversations where you just say, isn't life kind of funny? Like, how did we get here? How did we, what is life all about? It's like when an almost 90-year-old meets an almost 3-month-old, it really kind of makes you start thinking about the circle of life. And one of those like really conversations about how life is pretty funny and like, what are we doing here? What's happening? Kind of an existential crisis, if you will. No, but I actually believe the purpose of life is to enjoy life. And what that actually can mean is being generous, is being supportive, is being loving. It's not just about being really selfish all the time. But yeah, I just boil it down to you're supposed to enjoy your time here. And people are a big part of that. And rising up and helping others and supporting others along the way is a part of enjoying life. I also had to look it up, and it said, I saw this stat a few times on my internet search, that scientists say the odds of you being born are at least 1 in 400 trillion, maybe even 1 in 400 quadrillion. Now, I don't know how many zeros that is, but that's a lot. The fact that you're listening to this, the fact that we're here right now, that is special. That is interesting. How did we get here? Why are you and I the 1 in 400 trillion? I have to pause and just kind of take that in. And if you, like me, really weren't acting like it was a special event that you're here, this podcast, I hope, can just be a little wake-up call. Wake up that you are here. You deserve to be here. It's a miracle that you're here. It's a miracle that I'm here. So let's live life as full out and as joyfully and do as much as we can and be as happy as we can while we're here. So that's my message for today. I really appreciate you listening to the podcast and love to hear any feedback or share with me if I woke you up a little bit. Love to hear from you. So thank you so much for listening or watching today, and I'm excited to see you on the next episode.